Listen, stop whatever you're doing, because what I'm about to reveal will make your jaw tighten, your Wi-Fi flicker, and your soul whisper, "Lord, not again." I mean, seriously? Have you ever seen a plot twist so chaotic it makes love and hip-hop look like Sesame Street? Because apparently, Mendeecees Harris and Tamar Braxton didn't just reconnect. They didn't just collaborate. No. Baby, they allegedly had a secret candlelit ring sliding, vow whispering wedding behind Yandy Smith's back. And it all happened on a night when cameras weren't even supposed to be rolling. But trust me, someone rolled them anyway and leaked everything. And the second that 30C Venson video hit the internet, the timeline didn't just break, it combusted. Fans, haters, cousins, ex-best friends, group chats, bloggers, bots, and even your nosy auntie who swears she doesn't watch drama but stays updated like CNN, everyone had something to say. Because tell me why Mendeecees, a man who was taking family pictures with Yandy last week, was suddenly standing beside Tamar in a tuxedo, smiling like a man whose memory had just been factorized. Was this love? Revenge? A publicity stunt? A spiritual awakening? Or just the messiest, most unnecessary plot twist the universe has ever approved? Grab your popcorn, cause this wedding wasn't meant to be public, but the fallout was inevitable. Everything began long before the leaked wedding video went viral, long before the timeline exploded, and long before Mendeecees Tamar and Yandy found themselves tangled in a scandal that felt too chaotic even for reality television. It started quietly, almost invisibly, with tiny whispers floating through late-night group chats. Whispers that grew louder every day until they practically rattled the internet. At the center of those whispers were names that had no business appearing in the same sentence unless someone was doing something extremely wrong. For a while, nobody could pinpoint what was off, but the people closest to the situation felt it. They saw the shift, the strange energy. The way Mendeecees suddenly seemed distracted and distant, slipped out for private calls, mentioned endless meetings that never appeared on his calendar, and came home smelling like perfume so expensive it made. Yandy questioned whether she should laugh or panic. Then came Tamar, known for her powerful voice, unpredictable heart, and her ability to create storms without even trying. She and Mendeecees crossed paths again through what was supposed to be a harmless charity collaboration. An event so innocent it should have never opened a door. But it did. At first, the conversations seemed harmless, nothing more than polite exchanges and shared jokes. It's the kind that linger too long and leave a mark. Someone at the event even said they talked for more than an hour. And neither of them looked at their phones once, a dangerous detail only noticed in hindsight. From that night forward, things escalated fast. The messages became consistent, the calls stretched later into the night, and the meets shifted from public moments to private corners of the city, tucked behind excuses no partner should hear repeatedly. Yandy felt it before she saw it. That instinct that tells you something is wrong long before the evidence appears. She had stood by this man for years, through trials, reunions, heartbreak, healing. And now she felt the story slipping out of her hands. Meanwhile, Tamar was telling friends she felt a connection, a spark, something that made her feel seen again. And Mendeecees did nothing to stop it. All of this built up to the night everything cracked open. Yandy stopped asking questions and decided to get answers. She drove to one of Mendeecees' so-called studio meetings, walked inside and found him sitting too close to Tamar, her hand resting comfortably on his leg. His eyes filled with the guilt of a man who knows he has ruined something he can never fix. Yandy stood there in stunned silence, then simply said, "So this is what a studio meeting looks like now." Before walking out, unaware that the real explosion hadn't even begun. What happened after she left was nothing compared to the storm waiting in the shadows. While Yandy spent that night trying to gather herself, someone else was preparing to ignite chaos that no one could contain. Within hours, insiders whispered about something far bigger than private meetings or late-night calls. They claimed there was footage, not just photos or messages. but an actual video of a private ceremony involving Mendeecees and Tamar, a ceremony never meant for public eyes. According to one insider, the clip was filmed on a phone, shaky and dim, but clear enough to show everything that mattered. Tamar in a white dress, Mendeecees in a tuxedo, candles glowing, Vows whispered softly, and a ring exchange far too intimate to call symbolic. No one knew who recorded it, but the person who leaked it clearly wanted to burn every bridge. When the video hit the internet, it didn't spread slowly. It detonated. Fans instantly shifted into forensic mode, zooming in, slowing it down, analyzing every detail from the decorations to the tone of his voice. Headlines popped up in minutes, accusing Tamar of stealing a married man and accusing Mendeecees of betraying the woman who stood by him. Through his darkest years, Yandy saw the clip, the same way everyone else did on a screen, overflowing with comments, disbelief, and anger, and in that moment, everything inside her collapsed. Not because she didn't already suspect the truth, but because seeing it confirmed in front of the world was a different kind of pain. Tamar stayed silent, reportedly believing the ceremony was meaningful. Mendeecees disappeared from social media, avoiding statements while fans demanded answers. Then things grew worse when anonymous sources sent additional files to gossip blogs, screenshots showing Mendeecees asking Yandy for another chance just days before the leaked video surfaced. These messages painted a picture of a man torn between two lives, lying to both women and struggling to maintain a story falling apart in his hands. The internet reacted viciously, accusing Tamar of being manipulated, accusing Mendeecees of deception, and praising Yandy for walking away with dignity. But the real twist came when the leaker revealed the ceremony wasn't legally binding at all. It was a symbolic event Tamar allegedly planned to solidify their connection. The truth, however, was far more complicated than anyone realized. As the truth unraveled, the situation spiraled deeper. Fans were still dissecting the video when a second wave of leaks emerged, behind-the-scenes clips from the same night, showing Mendeecees arguing with someone moments before the ceremony. He sounded tense, saying he wasn't ready and things were moving too fast, while the person filming insisted it was too late because Tamar was already prepared. This shifted public perception entirely, raising questions about pressure, misunderstanding, and whether both were swept into something neither fully grasped. Tamar posted vague messages about heartbreak. Insiders claimed she began realizing the moment she cherished had not been viewed the same way. Yandy continued her silence, focusing on her children and work, earning widespread respect. But the calm didn't last. Another leak surfaced. Late-night voice messages from Mendeecees, admitting he felt trapped between mistakes he couldn't undo and a future he didn't understand. He wished he could take everything back. Public opinion split. Some sympathized, others dismissed the remorse. Producers reached out with interview offers, specials, and multi-part features, but Yandy declined them all, refusing to turn her heartbreak into entertainment. Tamar reportedly considered telling her side, torn between transparency and backlash. Mendeecees remained invisible, appearing only in grainy photos, looking exhausted and withdrawn. Weeks passed. The frenzy softened, but fans still wanted answers. This story had become more than a leaked video or symbolic ceremony. It had turned into a tangled narrative of broken trust, conflicting stories, private pain turned public, and choices that could not be undone. And even as the noise faded, one thing was undeniable: the shadows of that night and the truth buried inside it were not ready to disappear. So now that you've seen every twist, every leak, every secret moment, and every consequence that unraveled from a night that was never supposed to happen, the real question is, where does this story go next? And what haven't we been told yet? If this saga proved anything, it's that nothing stays buried in a world built on fame and ego. Every time you think the truth has surfaced, another clip, another message, another confession crawls out and changes everything again. Do you think Tamar will finally speak and share her raw truth? Will Yandy reveal the parts she kept locked away? And what about Mendeecees? Will he defend himself or disappear for good? Share your thoughts, predictions, and theories. Drop a comment, hit the like button if you want the next chapter, subscribe to stay ahead of every leak. And keep your eyes right here on BuzzVault, where the truth never stays quiet.